Hey, nonprofit fundraisers, and welcome to another episode of This Week in Crypto Philanthropy, where we highlight the top giving news, stories, and the power of crypto for good. Nick Mikulewski, Senior Sales Manager here at the Giving Block. And once again, I am coming to you all solo today. Pietro is out in the field once again. So, with that, why don't we get started and run through some of the agenda items that we're going to be covering today. We'll do a look at the crypto price check. We'll take a look at some weekly donation stats. And of course, we are going to take a look at some crypto fundraising tips in a shaky market, something that's probably top of mind for a lot of you out there right now. So, as always, we still have our $500 in Bitcoin when you get started with the Giving Block. So you can scan the QR code there. And with that, why don't we take a look at what's going on in the crypto markets right now? Even though it looks like a little bit of red on the graphs on the right, we've actually been seeing crypto markets start to accelerate. There's been some news kind of ping ponging back and forth, but taking a look at where things stand right now, Bitcoin back over 82,000. Ethereum around 1,600. XRP over $2. Again, crypto markets rising here with some of the recent news around tariffs coming on, tariffs coming off, a little bit of volatility swings in the market. But we're seeing some positivity. We'll see if that trend continues. But really, to take a look at some of the weekly donation stats, why don't we get into some of the things that we've been seeing over the past 7 days? And just to run everybody through what we're seeing coming across the rails, over another $250,000 in crypto donations from the past week. And just in general, this has been the fastest start to the giving year that we've ever seen. So, over the first 3 months of the year, this is feeling very much in terms of volume like something that we would expect to see much later in the year or even going into the year end giving season. So, crypto giving remaining really, really strong. The average crypto major gift over the past week hovering around 16,000. And if we lump everything in there, including stocks, including donor advised funds, looking at around $15,000 as the average major gift. Just as a reminder, we've got tax day in the US around the corner. So, of course, if you're sending out some of the tax messaging last minute, make sure to include that crypto option in there as well. And, something that I see all the time when I'm sort of digging into some of the back end plumbing, the nonprofits who repeatedly remind their donors about crypto are getting the most gifts. I'm saying 5-figure, 6-figure crypto donations, even right now in the current climate. So, again, if this is something that you're interested in doing, and hey, what do the organizations do that are getting the most gifts? Well, they're just letting their donors bump into the fact that they do that very, very often. So, those are some of the stats that we've been seeing over the past couple weeks. But really, to get to our main headline, wanted to take some time to focus around crypto fundraising tips in this shaky market. So, a few things that I wanted to lead with. So, a little bit of like a quick reminder. This is sort of like we've seen this movie before, but it's just maybe with a different cast. Global markets are being rattled. We've got tariff and some trade tensions, stocks down, volatility way up. This probably sounds familiar. And, if you've been having some deja vu around financial stress, donor hesitation, program uncertainty, very similar to things that we felt during the last lead up to other recessionary periods. But, if it's something that we saw coming out of the great financial crisis in 2008 and certainly around the COVID area, one thing that we've learned is that, nonprofits are resilient, especially when they adapt and opening new giving channels. And crypto specifically was the lifeline for nonprofits in the COVID area. No question. Back in 2008, the financial crisis wasn't really a thing then, but certainly crypto was a real savior to a lot of nonprofits, back in the COVID time. And the biggest difference today, even from, 2019, is that crypto is much more on the table and way more prevalent, and it could be one of the most powerful tools that you may not be fully utilizing yet. With all the institutional players that are now in the space, it is just such a much more mature market, and it's in so many more donors' financial portfolios. It makes even more sense to make sure you're asking about it. So, a few things that I want to go through and on the next few slides. So, first, economic stress doesn't kill giving. All right. In past recessions, we've seen overall giving dip, but far less than was expected. And really, it's not that giving is going away; it's just giving patterns are shifting. So, major donors lean in, smaller donors leaned out. And right now we're seeing some similar, early signs here where, the traditional assets are down, but crypto wallets are still holding some long-term gains that have been fueled by last year's crypto bull run. And many investors in crypto are still up in the high double digits, even low triple digits, depending on their situation. So the key takeaway here for this first slide: don't assume that donors are out of the game. Assume they're just more thoughtful and more impact driven than ever. And that really sums up the crypto community. They are very values driven, very impact driven. The more that you can show what that fractional amount of cryptocurrency goes to do, the more excited that they get. Moving on to number two, crypto is still that sort of extra, money for many donors. And so even after, recent dips, like we just said, a lot of long term holders are still up significantly in those portfolios. And again, with tax season right around the corner, they're looking for smart ways to offset their gains, to avoid taking that tax hit. And according to the data, historically, crypto giving has even spiked during market downturns, especially when those traditional investments, feel a little shaky. And again, it's sort of that like extra money in the portfolio that doesn't have to be allocated toward, those disposable monthly expenses. So the takeaway here is, now is a really important time to remind donors that crypto can be given directly, and it may be the smartest asset to donate in a volatile market. So just make sure that you're including some of that messaging into your communications. Third, nonprofits that thrive know their audience. And in previous recessions, larger institutions, even ended up coming out faring a little bit better. We know that smaller nonprofits, had a harder time. But, one thing that really separated those that really did a good job of weathering those storms were clarity of mission and nimble revenue strategies. And crypto certainly represents one of those new strategies. Still across the entire nonprofit space, definitely underused, but man, does it work really well when it's messaged in a really smart way. So the takeaway here is that if you haven't educated your major donors about crypto giving, now's the time to start. And doesn't have to be complicated. It's the same messaging that you're likely giving across other appreciated assets. But more importantly, just explain what those tax benefits are and that it's as easy to give in a few clicks. So, this is a really, really big missed opportunity if you decide to stay quieter on this topic. So, turn up the volume a little bit. And four, this isn't about panic, it's about preparation. So, most nonprofits right now can't afford to retreat when donors are looking for meaning. And in these moments of uncertainty, it's where that purpose really starts to stand out. And like we said before, crypto donors love to make those donations that they think will last, will have perfect purpose and meaning, much like other donors as well. But oftentimes, crypto donors tend to have even more that they can give. So, crypto donors, especially those high net worth, younger individuals, values driven, they're often disconnected from maybe your traditional philanthropic communication channels. until you speak directly to them, until you throw that QR code up, until you explicitly say crypto donations are now on the table, they're now live, you can click here. So the takeaway is, lean into that, storytelling, that impact, that crypto friendly giving, and show donors why your mission is the one to protect right now. So, to kind of wrap all of this up into one concise slide, here's some of those crypto fundraising easy wins for the nonprofit audience out there. So, just to kind of run these through very fast. One, prioritize mission aligned donors, like we said before. Send it out to preferably, that entire donor base, but especially remind them that, you know, your mission still matters. And yes, now you accept crypto. Just make that strong overture to that donor base, because you never know where those crypto donors are sitting in your existing network. And trust me, they are there. Two, add crypto to your donation options. Again, just like stocks, DAFs, include crypto on that giving page. Make it clear, make it simple, make it one click away. Aside with, the organizations that are reminding their donors often, they make it really easy to see that they take it, easily discoverable. Number three, include crypto in your donor conversation. So, again, if you're talking to those major donors, mention it's a tax smart way to give. Many of them already hold it. They've just never been asked the question. I hear this all the time. We've never had someone reach out about donating crypto, right? You've just never asked them. They've just never seen it as an option in any of the ways to give that they're looking at. And four, use what's already working. I think this is something that, we don't need to reinvent the wheel here. If you already have a really successful appeal, just refresh it with a crypto link and send it back out again. And five, show your donors that you're adapting, as you're navigating these tough times. The crypto community has already been rallying to fill some of the gaps from grants that have been disrupted and funding that's dried up. Include crypto as one of those new ways to give, so that they know how they can help right now. And the crypto community loves to rally during these times. And as we said before, we've even seen an uptick in crypto giving during times of uncertainty. So really lean into that, really lean into that impact, and show donors how they can give in a new way that doesn't hit their bottom line, that's tax smart, and that still has a significant amount of appreciation in their portfolios. So just a few tips there, a few things that hopefully provides a little bit of clarity, hopefully provides some new, fresh ideas. Crypto donors are continuing to give in really strong numbers, so continue to make those overtures to the crypto community. And with that, we'll be back with some new guests and some new episodes very soon. Thanks, everybody, for joining. We'll see you next week.